So you've been posting YouTube content for your business. Maybe you get a little bit of views, maybe you got some subscribers, but at the end of the day, still no leads for your business. And every single YouTube guru out there keeps telling you the same thing. Just post more. Just be consistent. Chase the next viral trends. So I was trying to teach other people how to get clients online just like me, predominantly from YouTube. But if I teach them how to do it manually, most of them will quit because it is quite a lot of work. Until I use Claude AI to map my entire client getting strategy into one-page sheet. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through every single step so you can get clients from YouTube too. All right, so if you want to get clients online from YouTube, you need two things to work together. And the first one is that you need an offer. The second one is that you need to get leads to this offer. So let's cover this one by one. Offer. An offer is the thing that you're going to sell to help somebody else in exchange for money. But the problem is the thing that we're trying to sell is to some extent a commodity, because chances are you're not the only one who's selling the thing. So why would the prospect buy that thing from you out of the other competitor who's probably selling it cheaper? To answer this, you need to have a backstory. So the backstory is basically the reason why you went from your job or whatever to this thing that you're doing right now that you're selling. There's a reason why all this happens, and we need to extract these stories, because when you tell those stories, it's exactly what makes your ideal client resonate with you and want to work with you. But what I realized working with a lot of clients is that most of you would have a problem trying to extract your own story simply because you're too close to it. And it's the same with me. I also couldn't extract my own stories. I had to get somebody else to ask me these questions and see the patterns, right? So what I do is I would sit down with people for like 60 minutes. I would make them feel comfortable with me, and then I would ask a bunch of questions that would make them reveal their stories one by one, and I would stop them and say, hey, that's a good video idea. And they'd tell another story, and I would say, hey, that's another good video idea. And then they would continue telling more stories, and I would just tell them, hey, this is a good video idea. And at the end of this session, I would see, hey, you know what? I start to see a pattern here. The thing that makes you unique from the other people out there is that you're actually good at this. So why don't we lean more towards that? Because I don't see anybody else is doing this. So that's the human part. Where we use Claude AI is to help extract the transcript from our conversation so we don't miss any angles and video ideas. And then AI can find a unique selling point within your story, and I'm going to merge them with what I found. And then that's where the human, which is me and you, we would agree or disagree with what the Claude AI come up with. All right, so now that we got the branding and positioning out of the way, now we can actually create the offer. So the offer is the thing that you're selling to help other people in exchange for money. And there's three formats where you can deliver this offer. The highest level is one-to-one. That's the most access to you, so you can charge the highest. The one level below that is how can you help people in a group of around 10 people to do the same thing. So if they want to have more one-to-one access, they've got to pay for the higher tier, right? And then the last format is one-to-many. So you can think of this as like running an online workshop or a webinar. Now, there's no right or wrong when selecting the type of format that's suitable for your business. But for most people starting out, always start with one-to-one before you venture into group and then one-to-many. So now that you have an offer, you need to now create a simple one-page landing page to explain your offer. Who is it for? Why should they listen to you, and how can this thing help them achieve the thing that they want? Like about a year ago, I used to create landing pages manually by myself, which usually takes a lot of time. But since I get familiar with Claude AI, Claude can actually help design the landing page for us that would match our branding, color theme, and fonts and all that, so it looks like us. And in some cases, I just ask them to generate the HTML file. I copy the code and just paste that into my web builder, and presto, there you go. I don't have to like build the page manually, which is kind of nuts. So now that you have that squared away, the next thing you got to do is to get leads so people can see if they want this thing. And there's three ways for you to get leads online. The first one is outbound. The second one is content, and the last one is ads. So most business owners gravitate towards ads because it's measurable and it's easy for them because they don't have to create content. So let's go over these one by one. So let's start with the first one, outbound. Outbound is instead of waiting for people to come to you, you find people who would need your service, have a conversation with them, and eventually pitch your stuff. Like, hey, I have this thing. Do you have this problem? Well, lucky for you, I have this thing that may solve your problem. Would you want to know more? And that's generally the gist of outbound. I don't recommend you to install some sort of AI automation to replace you, because the moment people know that they're not talking to a real person, they would probably ignore or block you, or worse yet, it would tarnish your reputation communication. So what I do instead is I only use AI to help find the leads. But then when it comes to talking to them, that's 100% me and human. So let me show you how I use Claude to scrape a bunch of leads so I can now manually contact these people. So basically, I identified a really prominent person on LinkedIn that I know my ideal clients are probably following. So I asked Claude, like, hey, this is an influential person that my ideal clients are following and watching their content. I want you to scrape all of the people who engage with this post and then put them on a sheet. Then I want you to filter these people that fit my ideal client profile. So I let Claude do its thing, and then it generated me this sheet that contains all these people that I can now manually do outreach for. Isn't that cool? That's kind of nuts. And then it even has the status here: call booked. Am I talking to them? Is it closed? Is it ghosted? Or is it fit? Is it no? Everything's here. Again, I'm not using AI to replace me. All I'm doing is using AI to scrape the leads so I can know who to talk to in the first place without me having to do it manually. All right, so that's Outbound right here. And for most people starting out, especially if it's a new offer, Alex Hormozy said you should probably start with Outbound first. Start with your warm network and see if they actually want your thing. That's the fastest way you can see if people actually want this thing, right? So the next thing that you can do while you're doing Outbound is to do content. So when it comes to content, it's a lot more labor intensive, which is why not a lot of people want to do it. But if you do content right, it will generate the best ROI for your business. The tricky part is getting it right in the first place. The first thing you got to do is have a content strategy. Like, what kind of content should you be making? What kind of videos? The next thing is, what video ideas are worth doing that will get some views and then leads to our business. If it doesn't achieve that, we're not going to do it. Then the third thing is, how can we script so I know what to say in these videos? Back in the day, I used to script all my videos manually. Sometimes it takes me up to 2 to 3 days just to script one 10-minute YouTube video. It is just not sustainable. So the next thing you want to do after scripting is packaging, which is the title and the thumbnail. And this is where you need to spend a lot of time, because no matter how good your video is, if nobody clicks on it in the first place, then there's no point. So we need to put a lot of effort and attention to how the title and the thumbnail looks like. So it entices people to do two things. Number one, so the YouTube algorithm knows what your video is about and knows who to send the video out to. And number two, once it actually reaches those people, the packaging is interesting enough for them to want to click. So the next thing that bogs down a lot of business owner is to edit the video, which requires a lot of effort. And you can hire a video editor, but the problem that I faced was that I have to review the video, and then there's all these back and forth. It annoys me, I'm not gonna lie. And then the last thing we want to do is, once we have the YouTube video published, we want to repurpose that YouTube video into your email list campaign, into your LinkedIn post, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever, right? And repurposing long form videos is the key to not burning out with content. Because if you don't do long form videos like this, then you would scramble every day. You don't know what to post today. You don't know what to post tomorrow on LinkedIn. So going back to this, from my experience, a lot of business owners would just quit making YouTube videos because they have to figure all this out. So luckily nowadays with AI, what I'm doing and what I'm sharing in my school community is how can we create Claude skills so Claude has the individual skill and talent to do the content strategy. There's another team doing just video ideas. There's another skill just doing scripting. There's another skill just doing packaging. There's another skill communicating with my AI video tool. And then there's another skill that specifically takes my YouTube content and repurpose it to my LinkedIn, X, Threads, you name it. So imagine if you didn't want to use AI, you have to hire one person to do each and every one of these things, which gonna add up a lot of costs on top of you having to manage this person. So it's kind of crazy that we have AI nowadays that can represent each and every one of these skills or department in our business. So the last thing that you can try to do to get leads is paid ads. What I realize is a lot of business owners tend to straight up do ads because they're too lazy to do outbound and they don't want to do content. So the next best thing is just to run ads. But the problem with that is that the ad cost is raising every year and it's eating up into your margin. It's simply not sustainable in the long run. So I myself, I've never used ads because I don't think my business is there yet. I'm still trying to figure out outbound and content together with AI. But these are the 3 things you can do to get leads, and these are the 3 things you do to have a great offer. So this is my entire client getting system explained in one sheet where I can get clients online without having to hire anybody to help me. It's just me and a bunch of AI agents doing the work. So is this making sense? If you're interested to learn how to do this for your business, check out my school community. This is exactly what I walk other business owners to do. Link in the description below. Now, if you're intrigued about this whole Claude AI thing and you want to see how Claude helped me create a lead magnet that converts at 38.2%, watch this video next.